For those of you who missed the previous episode of this mini-series, this is the redstone build that we're going to be working on over the next couple weeks. As you can see, it is completely and utterly ridiculous. Built by Family Craft Dad, this thing is bonkers. It seriously is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And for those of you who are wondering, no, you don't have your phone or your computer upside down. This thing is built upside down. I mean, how cool is that? I think in the next series of Hermitcraft, I'm going to have to do like an upside down base because this looks hilariously fun. But anyway, in the previous episode, we worked on a handful of different redstone contraptions, and I've actually done a little bit of work since the previous episode, just kind of redoing some things. So for example, our isolation chamber has had a little bit of work, and I've also gotten rid of the little fountain that was in the center because it wasn't looking particularly good. So we're kind of going to redo the whole book request system just to be a tiny bit better. Now this is a system that I actually really quite like. I think it looks quite cool in this little section right here. So I've moved the doors over, and now we have a proper book selection system. So you've got the library, but we also have like a, I don't even know how to describe it, like a book request system. So you've got horror, romance, thriller, boring, factual, audiobooks. Now I personally really like audiobooks, so I'm going to hit that button right there, and you can see our audiobook drops down, lands in the hopper, and then we can pick it up from this chest right here. Now obviously, you know, this is a bit of a strange kind of audiobook. I'll try and get it somewhere up near my head so that I can hear it. But yeah, it works, the system is functioning, and I really like the way that it looks. I'll be honest, I couldn't help myself. I was going to leave this room behind, but I thought it would be cool to add in some form of water feature in this area here. So we can be chilling out in our hot tub, whilst also apparently getting showered by water, and that system has worked far better than I was expecting. That looks really quite good. And then if we flick this lever here, it actually works. We've actually managed to make that work first time. Now that is a hot tub that I would like in my house. It really affects my frame rate, so we're getting about 16 frames a second here, which is completely ridiculous considering the specs of my computer. But still, I've just allocated more RAM to Minecraft, and it's made things a lot worse. What's going on? I've given it 4 gigabytes to play with. Now that we've moved away from that lag machine, I've actually come over into the bathroom, and I've created another one. This one's slightly smaller, but of course, we need to have some form of shower, and by the look of things, that is working absolutely perfectly. And the way that it works is actually quite interesting. So we have some observers which detect the update from the lever. That turns this piston into a T flip-flop. And because this can't be a redstone block, because otherwise it will bud power this dispenser, we've had to do some funny business with the redstone, which creates a toggleable system. Now that's pretty cool, but I am thinking that we do have this down here. Now I know it's meant to be a drain, but I'm thinking everyone likes singing in the shower. I think it would be unfair not to give us some form of way to put on the tunes in the shower. So there we go. It's perfect. Now this next redstone contraption is going to be something special. This is going to be the Mega B-Day Super Butt Washer. And we're going to stand here. It's going to lock us in place and give our little rump, which, yeah, is looking, well, I think it's nice and clean, but you know, it could probably do with some Super B-Day in. So it's going to give it a super clean. Now the way that we're going to do this is, of course, we are going to have to hook up all of these pistons using some redstone. So what blocks should I use here? I'd say quartz. Quartz is a pretty good block, and we will run that round. That's going to link up all the pistons, and then we're going to have some form of high-speed redstone clock, which is going to be dealing with all of the firing of the water. Alright, it is complete. How's it looking? I mean, I'm a little bit nervous. How's it looking back there? Yeah, I definitely need a Mega B-Day butt wash. Alright, let's just... I am sprinkly clean. It did tickle a little bit. Yeah, I'm out of here. And finally for the bathroom, we have got the Eco Bog. Now, the idea behind this thing is that when we do our business, then we flush the toilet, it will actually be stored elsewhere. We will store it down in that little package right there, and then we can use the stuff for things, other things like gardening or throwing at your neighbor's house. I wouldn't suggest doing that. Anyway, let's move on from this area. We have still got some work to do up in the bedroom. I think the most important thing here is that, well, I sometimes struggle waking up in the morning, so I think it would be a good idea to have some form of mega alarm clock. So we're going to need sky access for this one, and we're going to have some form of daylight sensor. I guess the daylight sensor can go right there. And when the day rolls around and this thing actually activates, it will kick into action probably the noisiest possible alarm clock I could possibly build. It's going to be housed within glass, so we're going to kind of block off this entire area here. In fact, I would say this entire section is going to be alarm clock. I'm taking this pretty serious. This entire area is going to be alarm clock, and we're just going to try and fill it with as many noisy things as I can possibly fill it with. It is a bit of a shame that we are having to destroy this beautiful looking computer, because it really was a beautiful looking computer, but it will make a return, and it will be cooler. Oh gosh. Why do I choose to build this sort of thing? Okay, that's stage 1. We can definitely go further than that, though. Thinking maybe note blocks. I'd say I'm almost there. I'm getting there. We've got chickens dying. We have note blocks playing, doors moving, trapdoors moving as well. I would say the only thing that's really left is some flashing lights. Now, the flashing lights, I mean, I'm not going to be able to run them there. They might kind of have to start about here. And maybe just run across like that. And then we can put signs on the flashing lights. In fact, that's perfectly central. I've managed to do that perfectly. Okay, so let's just place some blocks around those, make it look a tiny bit more natural, and then we'll have ourselves a fully functional system. Oh man, this is going to drive me insane though, I think. Let's give it a whirl. I'll try my best to get to sleep nice and quickly, and then hopefully... Oh wow, it's worse than I thought. Now that we've slept through the night, this bed right here has actually got me thinking. I wonder if we could actually make this like a functional bed. So a bed that looks really, really cool, but then we can flick a lever and it will reveal an actual bed that we can actually sleep in, because that's kind of handy. It might be a little bit too challenging, but I think it'll be worth giving a go. So I've spent a bunch of time on this, and I've come up with a system that I personally think is really quite good. Okay, we've got ourselves a little pillow, we've got a head post which definitely needs some work. That's not how it's going to be staying, but the most important thing is that the redstone is pretty cool. I mean, there we go. And there we can sleep through the night, and then hopefully we'll wake back up just on top of the bed. Absolutely fine, no problems there. Somebody, help me! I'm stuck under my bed! Oh, why do I build this stuff? Now, this is one of my first times using custom mob heads here. And oh man, is it awesome. So I've created, that is my new editing suite. We've got speakers on either side. We then have 4 screens out the back, which are currently displaying, well, pretty much RGB displays at the minute, but it's there, and it's looking so cool. I know this is totally not redstone related, but it's probably one of my favorite things I've created so far. Anyway, we now have to add in some redstone out the back of this thing to make it kind of look convincing and flashy and cool. Now, the inspiration for this thing is actually from proper movie editing studio. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen a proper movie editing studio, but what they do is they have the editing suites. It's got all of the screens in front, that's where they do all the color grading, and it's got crazy decks and things that you mess around with. But then behind it, it has a full size, or at least like a really big screen, so that they can see what it would look like for people watching movies in the actual movie theater. So they have like their reference monitors, and then behind it they have a really big screen that displays what they're editing in full size, so they can see it, as I say, on the big screen as if people were watching it. And that's kind of what we have going on here. And I have to say, it looks pretty good, if you're asking me. Let's just cover up all of these gaps. And that should be... I mean, I would say that's the bedroom all done. I can't think of anything extra that I really want to add in here. I am really happy with that. Holy what? I have never seen a picture that big in Minecraft before. I don't think I ever will. Is that super rare? I feel like that's got to be super rare. I've never seen some. That is huge. I'm gonna keep it there. That's amazing. Okay, apparently these things are a lot more common than I previously expected. Give me a normal sized picture, would you please? I couldn't help myself, I've added in a few extra sections. So we've got an armor equipping station, or essentially a walk-in wardrobe, which seems like a good idea for a bedroom. And also I've got this area over here, which is my camera storage system. As you guys know, I quite like my camera equipment. I do love my cameras, and I tend to have a habit at this point in time of acquiring them. I have a couple of cameras now, and I think in the future I might need to expand my storage for them. So I thought I'd think ahead in Minecraft, and I've created this system right here, which is essentially a bulk storage system for all of my camera equipment. It's perfect. Now I would say this area here is now fully done. I mean, we have got tons of redstone contraptions in this place. So I guess the next room that I should go to is this one. Oh my word, this place is huge. I'm assuming this has got to just be the entrance. Thank you. I got a bit scared that I'd missed an entire floor. Okay, this is going to be the next room. I have no clue what to do with it. I'm getting like a potion brewing vibe. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Part 1 of this system has been created. What I've decided to do is I have designed a button selector panel which allows you to select what potion you want to be brewing. So if we hit one of these buttons right here, we should see that one is activated and all of these ones are switched off. That's brilliant. We hit this button over here. That one is activated, but all of these ones are also switched off. So it is a fully functional button selector panel that also works across the room. Now, the way that we've done that is by connecting up some redstone lines and running them into all of these RS snore latches. Essentially, it's an RS snore latch array, and generally speaking, they just look like this. But to extend it out across the room does mean that we have had to do a little bit of funny business, but it seems to be working. Okay, excellent. Now what we have to do is run the outputs from that upwards and into some form of system which will allow us to decode that signal. We've still got a decent length of time left to go just yet. This thing is starting to look very complex. Right, I don't even know where to begin with explaining this one, just because it looks so ridiculous. But the idea is that there is going to be the one for the nether wart, and that will send the nether wart through into our brewing stand first. And then after that, the output will run out into these droppers right here, and depending on which one you've selected, your ingredient will be shot out into this water stream, gradually make its way around, and drop in after the nether wart. So the nether wart will already be brewing, and then we'll have the ingredient falling in. Now the next thing that I've got to work out is where the next items are going to be going. Things like redstone, glowstone, gunpowder, dragon's breath, that sort of thing. Maybe we could have the selector for those down here? Or maybe on this side of the room. Yeah, that makes sense, because then they'll come in after these ones. Ah, okay. Now this thing is looking spectacular. So these are the selectors for the different ones. So you can either select redstone or glowstone, and that will swap out the block that is underneath those droppers there, as you can see. And then on this side, we have lingering, splash, or neither. So if we flick this one, you can see those ones swap. But if we flick it like this, you can see now we have selected neither. Just in case you don't want either of those, you just want a standard potion. Okay, we've made a pretty solid start right here. Hopefully, we should be able to cover up all of that. So that all looks okay. And now we just need to connect up the output from here and kind of run it upwards a little bit like this. And make it run across into those two. And that actually is going to end up looking pretty good. The only thing is that they are going to have to be immovable objects, so it's going to be one of those on one side and one of those on the other side, and then we can actually start putting in the items for this thing and double check that it actually works, because I haven't tested any of this. You would have thought I would have tested it with the size and the amount of time that I've been spending on it, but no, not at all. I'm really upset. Oh. I'm very upset. I'm very, very upset. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know why I assumed that fire tick was false. Oh. Oh. And oh. Oh. Oh, I had a bit of a cough as I went down. Thankfully, I didn't die from my leap. I only broke my knees a little bit, which is, you know, I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm in agony, but I'm sure they'll be fine. But as you can see, I've now rebuilt the entire upper section right here, apart from the left-hand speaker. Apparently, I've forgotten to do the left-hand speaker, which means we're only hearing things through the left ear. It's not a good experience. It's really not very good. Now, I must say, I'm a little bit nervous for this one. I am a tiny bit nervous because I've spent a lot of time building this thing and I really, really want it to work. So, we're going to activate Fire Resistance Potion. We are going to give it a Redstone modifier, so obviously we're going to do the duration for it. And we're going to make it a Lingering Potion. So that one is activated, which means that both of these are extended. I actually looked into how you make Lingering Potions, and it's not how I first thought. So that has now been changed. Okay, good stuff. We've got ourselves some nether wart. What we do actually need some water bottles. So let's just quickly get some of them. And they will go in that chest. And they will all feed into the side of our brewing stand. Good stuff. And then we also need some blaze powder, which is going to power this thing. Okay, now here goes. I've got to press the button, and we should see nether wart. Good. Okay, and then the magma cream is making its way round. That's good. Very good, very good. We have the redstone making its way round. Gradually. That's coming in. The only thing that is missing is the stuff for the lingering. So for the most part, we've done it right. It just seems as if... Oh, that will probably do it. Such a moron. Alright, let's try again. So this time, we're going to do a potion of water breathing. So let's select that one. That is now selected. This one has been deselected. Fantastic. Once again, we want redstone, and this time we are going to make it a lingering potion. Let's just double check that I have got both of those in there. Okay, fantastic. Alright, so once again, hit the button. And now I get nervous. So, items... Oh gosh, this is nerve-wracking. Alright, that's good. Gunpowder? Please tell me that's just worked. Nether wart, and then the pufferfish, and then the redstone, and then the gunpowder, and then the dragon's breath. Now that, my friends, is a pretty sweet mechanism. This is probably one of my favourite potion brewing stations I've ever created, just because it's so ridiculously massive and actually looks really, really cool. I kind of want one of these on the Hermitcraft server. And by kind of, I mean definitely. I definitely want one of these on the Hermitcraft server. This thing's awesome. Okay, I would say that rounds things up for today's episode on the upside down piston house. This thing has been a lot of fun. We've done a lot of work on tons of different redstone contraptions. We've had to rebuild an entire section of the house, which was also fairly good fun. We've built a gigantic potion brewing station, and we've changed up some of the things that we did in the previous episode, because let's face it, they were a little bit terrible. I hope that you've enjoyed this one. The same one will be coming out this time next week, so that's when the next episode will be coming out. I think there's a chance we'll get maybe 3 or 4 episodes out of this, simply because look at the size of some of these rooms. I don't know, maybe 3 episodes, potentially 4, because these things are huge, and I really want to do a good job on this one. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.